Welcome back, everyone, for Week 5 of the 2015 NFL season. I'd just like to thank all of you. Last week, I asked you to help me out and help me get over the 700 subscriber mark for my YouTube channel, and you did. And I'm very pleased, and I'm really excited about this week's picks. Here they are. Here are my against the spread picks. I went 3-1 last week, not so bad. Would have been better had Arizona not got the dreaded 7:02 call. The first game we're going to look at has Washington going to Hotlanta, where the Falcons are 7-point favorites at home. It's a small price to pay for a team that is 4-0 against the spread. They're playing fantastic ball on both sides of the line of scrimmage. Really good defense and amazing offense. It's a small price to pay. Let's lay the points and let's take Atlanta -7. The second game we're going to look at has Denver going to Oakland, where the Raiders are 4.5-point dogs at home. The Raiders come home after a couple of weeks on the road, only to face one of the best teams in the AFC. Denver is another team that's 4-0 straight up. I think it's a small price to pay here. The Broncos have such a good defense, and of course Peyton scores points by the bucket loads. So let's lay the points and let's take Denver -4.5. The third game we're going to look at has New England going to Dallas, where the Cowboys are 8.5-point dogs at home. The Patriots are coming off of the bye, and you give Hoodie any kind of extra advantage, in this case that extra week of preparation time. He's going to take advantage of it. They still have the scrubs at quarterback and wide receiver for Dallas. This is a small price to pay for a New England team that just seems to be on a roll right now. So let's take New England -8.5. And the fourth game we're going to look at has San Francisco 49ers going to New York, where the Giants are 7-point favorites at home. San Francisco just can't score. Their defense isn't bad, but not great. The Giants are getting better. They actually could be 4-0 straight up. A couple of bad clock management brain cramps from Eli would have been the difference here. The Giants are a much better team and are rounding into form. So let's lay the points and let's take the Giants -7. Here are my 4 over-under plays, also 3-1 last week. The first game we're going to look at has New Orleans going to Philadelphia. That number's 49. Philadelphia remains the only team that is yet to go over in a football game. So let's take under the 49. The second game we're going to look at has Chicago going to Kansas City. That number's 44.5. Yeah, 4 straight overs for the Kansas City Chiefs. I think their offense is going to explode against a pretty weak Chicago defense, and maybe the Bears can chip in with a couple of points. So let's take over the 44.5. The third game we're going to look at has Arizona going to Detroit. That number is 44. Arizona has done nothing but go over the number. Detroit's had a couple of unders so far, but I think this game will sail easily over the number. So let's take over 44. And the fourth game we're going to look at has a game that we talked about earlier, as the New England Patriots going to Dallas. That number's 49.5. I expect the Patriots to score at least 40 points in that game, and Dallas will probably get 15 or so. So let's take over the 49.5. Here's my let's take the man's money parlay play. We're going to take 4 games against the spread, and we're going to take 1 over under. The first game we're going to take is the Washington-Atlanta game. We'll take the Falcons -7. And in the Denver-Oakland game, we'll take Denver -4.5. We'll take New England -8.5 over Dallas. And the fourth one, we'll have the Giants -7 over San Francisco. We're going to take, in the New Orleans-Philadelphia game, we'll take the under 49. And you know what? Just to be greedy, we'll take Green Bay straight up. And a $25 bet will get you $784.32. Good luck. here are my straight-up plays for this week. The Thursday nighter, we've got Indianapolis going to Houston. We're still not sure if Andrew Luck is playing. Looks like he will, but he is hurt. Arians, the running back for Houston, is probably going to be getting a lot more carries. You know, eventually Indianapolis is going to lose a game in that division. I think this is going to be one. So let's take Houston in that game. The second game has Jacksonville going to Tampa Bay. If they don't cancel this due to lack of interest, I guess I'll have to take Tampa Bay in this game. The third game has Buffalo going to Tennessee. Tennessee's coming off the bye. They're underdogs in this game. You know what? There's going to be a couple of games that are going to go the other way. So let's take Tennessee over Buffalo. Cleveland is at Baltimore. The Ravens barely squeaked one out. Had it not been for a really bad field goal kicking from Pittsburgh last week, they may have lost. Cleveland almost won in San Diego. You know what? Let's take, in an upset, the Cleveland Browns over Baltimore. Washington's at Atlanta, a game we talked about. I like the Atlanta Falcons in that game. Chicago's at Kansas City. Poor Kansas City Chiefs have had the toughest schedule to open up the season so far. I think they get a win here over a Chicago team that was lucky enough to win against Oakland, that was playing back-to-back on the road. So let's take Kansas City in that game. We've got New Orleans going to Philadelphia. Here's another possible upset. I'm going to take the Saints over the hosts in that game, over Philadelphia Eagles. We've got Green Bay hosting St. Louis. The Packers just never lose at home, so let's take the Pack. Seattle's at Cincinnati. The Bengals are 4-0 so far, and doing it with style too. Seattle's coming off the short week, maybe a game that they didn't deserve to win. I think that was a 7-0-2 call. Let's take Cincinnati in that game. Arizona, speaking of 7-0-2 calls, they're the victims of the 7-0-2 call last week. They're going to Detroit. I don't know if they're going to lose back-to-back. You know, the NFL owes Detroit one. This could be either way, but you know what? Let's take Arizona in that game. A game we talked about earlier, New England's going to Dallas. The Patriots are not going to lose this game, so let's take New England. Denver's at Oakland. Another game I talked about. We'll take the Denver Broncos. The Sunday nighter has San Francisco going to the New York Giants, a game we talked about earlier. I like the Giants. And the Monday nighter has the Pittsburgh Steelers going to San Diego. Two of my nemesis teams I can almost never get right. So, you know what? Who should we jinx? Let's take the San Diego Chargers in that game. Okay, and those are my picks for this week. Good luck to you. Make sure you check out our Facebook page. All the other great prognosticators on YouTube are there. I'll leave their channels in the links below, and check out my own webpage, geoknows.com. And a special shout out to my good buddy Billy B, who had an exceptional week. Billy is a former GeoKnows Award winner for Prognosticator of the Year. Make sure you check out his channel. Okay, for the GeoKnows YouTube channel, I am Geo. Let's take the man's money.